ministry work. And I think that will be very, very much important. And as you see in your screen, we are saying do it right for right results, organizing a ministry, a gospel ministry work. My main question is how should we organize this ministry work? Because we are called to serve the Lord and we are called so that we can be able now to put things in the right way or to put things in the right manner in the service of the Lord. Now, to organize a gospel ministry, you need some few issues, and these are the ones that we are going to discuss. One of them is establishing a strong spiritual foundation. Number two is to create a strategic plan. Number three is to develop a robust leadership and volunteer structure and coordinate outreach efforts. Now, let us go to establish a solid spiritual foundation. A gospel ministry effectiveness of that gospel ministry begins and is sustained by its spiritual health. The ministry must have a spiritual health that is going to sustain it, that is going to begin it, and that is going to keep it moving. One of the spiritual health is pray fervently and strategically. You must have prayers that you are going to pray fervently and strategically. Fervent means consistent, and it must be a specific prayer. We should cover every aspect of the ministry. Okay? You pray for guidance, you pray for the people you are trying to reach, and for the wisdom of the leaders. Prayer that will cover every aspect of the ministry, and you pray it consistently, not once. You pray it consistently, don't pray it once. You must be consistent and it must be specific. Specific. For example, if we are praying for the Salvation Grace Ministries, we mention the Salvation Grace Ministries. We cover every aspect of that ministry, guidance of the ministry, people that we are going to reach out, and the leaders, the wisdom of the leaders. The leaders that are going to be ordained, the leaders that are going to be anointed, the leaders that are going to be put in place, they must be prayed for. The people that you are going to reach, because every gospel ministry has a target of the kind of people that you are reaching, of the kind of class of people that you are reaching. It is true that the gospel ministry is supposed to reach everyone because the Great Commission is to go to the whole world and make all to become disciples. But you must have a specific area and target that you are targeting first, where you are starting, so that it can grow continuously because of the prayer of the kind of people that you are reaching to. Number two, in that kind of establishing a solid spiritual foundation aligned with God's calling. Ensure that the ministry's mission aligns with what God has called you to do. And this requires honest reflection and spiritual discernment, not just following what is popular or feels good. So you must be honest to yourself. You must search within yourself and know exactly what the Lord has called you to do. If He had called you to teach, do the teaching. Lay it with that calling. Lay the ministry with that calling. If the ministry is for the gospel songs, lay it with the gospel songs. If the ministry you are called into is preaching the word of God, do the preaching and align your ministry in that. if it is deliverance, if it is redemption, whatever your calling is, align your ministry with your calling. Because if you don't align it with your calling, you'll be tired of it. It will become a burden because you don't know exactly what you're being called for. Align it in accordance to your calling so that then you'll be able to do a honest reflection and get a spiritual discernment. And you cannot follow what is popular or feels good. The ministries that are there today, um, most of them are not necessarily organized in accordance to the calling of the minister. They are organized because maybe somebody wants to copy what the other minister is doing, or you don't know your calling. If it is deliverance, you want to become a deliverer, you want to come to do deliverance because you found someone is casting demons and demons are leaving, and you want also now to cast demons so that demons can leave. Remember, there were the sons of Sceva who did that, and the demons never moved away. The demons were not casted away, but the demons attacked them. And they told them, "We know Paul and we know Jesus, but who are you?" Because their ministry was not that, their calling was not that. So align yourself in accordance to the calling. And this is what we call the solid spiritual foundation. Then the other aspect of the solid spiritual foundation that you're going to establish by cultivating spiritual growth. Focus on the spiritual maturity for both leadership and volunteers. A ministry cannot go deeper than its leaders work with God. So, what you are going to cultivate is that maturity of the leaders. The leadership in that ministry, they must be deeper in the work with God. The volunteers that are coming to support your ministerial work, you must make sure that they go deeper in the work with God in accordance to the calling of the ministry. What I want you to understand here, we have different ministries according to the callings of God. And if your ministry is different from your calling, then you are not going to be able to sustain it. If the volunteers and the leadership are different from the calling of your calling with God, they cannot be aligned with your calling, then they are not right to be serving there. They are supposed to be serving somewhere else according to where they will be aligned with their calling. So ministry are different and the callings are different, but all of them are to edify the body of Christ. So align this leadership, let them grow mature, grow them by making them to work deeper in the work of the Lord. That is the spiritual foundation of the ministry when you're organizing for the ministry. When you still organize for the ministry, you must create. Number two, create a strategic plan. You create a strategic plan. God will call you into a certain area. For example, God called Paul to go and preach the gospel to the Gentiles. But God did not give Paul the routes to follow to go and evangelize or make disciples to the Gentiles. But God said, I have chosen him so that he can become a witness of me to the Gentiles. But now Paul had to do a strategic plan. A strategic plan provides a clear roadmap for achieving the ministry's goal. A clear roadmap. A clear roadmap for achieving the goals. Define vision and mission. A clear, memorable mission statements defines your core purposes and how you will fulfill it. Your vision should provide a picture of what the ministry will look like in the future. So you must define the vision. Let the people who are serving with you see that broad goal, the outcome, the final aspect of how the ministry will look like in the future. That is what we call the vision. I think the vision statement should be memorable. People should know what is the course and what is the steps, the courses to be taken to achieve the vision of the ministry. Okay? They should have that picture in their mind. They should be seeing the future where they are going. They should see the Canaan where they are reaching, because every ministry has its own destiny that must be achieved in the future, that must be seen in the members or the leaders and the volunteers that are supporting the ministry. The vision should be well communicated to, and the mission should be memorable by those people that we are working with. You must do the next aspect of creating a strategic plan. You conduct a SWOT analysis before planning, assessing your ministry strength. Before planning, just assess your ministry strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This provides a realistic starting point and helps in making informed decisions. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where do you have the opportunities? And what are the threats? So that by the time now you're planning, you know, I'm strong in this, I'm weak in this, I have this opportunity, and I can minimize this threat. Then you must, in the strategic planning, you set SMART goals. Okay? This should translate your strategic objective into specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. For example, launch 2 new small groups for young adults by the end of the year is more effective than grow the ministry. See, it must be specific and relevant. Like if you launch 2 new small groups for young adults by the end of the year, it is more specific and effective than grow the ministry, because the ministry has some aspects, and that is where you must set the SMART goals, which are mission strategic, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, so that you will realize the goals as you continue to let these realizable activities being done. And then you do the budget responsibly. Ministries should work within a course of a budget. In the strategic plan, you should develop a transparent and a detailed budget that covers all ministry activities. Good financial stewardship builds trust with the congregation and ensures sustainability. The activities that we have spoken in the strategic plan, they must be budgeted for. And remember, these activities have what we call the timeline. They are not infinite, they are not there forever. If it is, for example, formation of the groups, the example that I have given, how do you form them? What is needed? How much do you spend? And how much do you want to put into those groups so that they can grow spiritually? That must be budgeted. It must be transparent and must be detailed. Okay, that is now after the foundation. Then you have to create the strategic plan. After creating the strategic plan, now, number three, you build a strong leadership and volunteer structure. The strong leadership and volunteer structure of the ministry should let you know that effective ministry cannot rely on one person. It requires equipping and empowering others to serve. Equipping and empowering others to serve. This one I have developed several points on it. The first point is delegate responsibilities. Identify people with passion and skills and give them ownership of specific roles. This prevents a burnout and utilizes the strength of team members. You delegate activities, get the right people who have the passion and they have the skills. Then you give them to be ownership of specific roles. That this role is played by so and so because this person has the passion and has the skills to carry the role. By doing that, it will help you not to have burnouts, and then it will strengthen the team members by giving their strength out, by utilizing all the strength they have to build the ministry. Number two, you provide clear job expectations. Remember, this is a ministry of preaching the gospel. You provide clear job expectations. For each role, create a ministry description outlining specific responsibilities and expectations. Let me give, for example, an administrative assistant's duties may involve scheduling and communication, freeing up the pastoral staff for spiritual work. Okay? If you have an administrator, the administrator can schedule and do the communication. We have the schedule this month. We are going to have the young adults seminars. We are going to have a conference for our mentorship for school boys. That schedule is met, and then the administrator also communicates, leaving the other spiritual services, that is the spiritual work, to you so that you may not become so much tired because you're involved in everything. No, you must provide clear job specifications. If someone you have given him a responsibility, maybe to handle the young adults, let them schedule, let them administer, let them control, and let them be giving you information so that they can maximize into their potentials. Number two, train and equip your team. The other aspect is to train and equip your team. Offer regular training on evangelism, discipleship, and other ministry skills. This helps the volunteers serve confidently and competently. Do not wait without training. You have a ministry that you are running from January to December, but you're not training your volunteers, you're not training the people that you're working together in that ministry. You don't want to train. You're not giving them the skills. You don't want them to acquire the skills to run the ministry. Then the ministry is going to be stagnant. They are not going to be confident on what they are doing. They are not going to give their maximum on what they are doing because they don't have the skills to do that. So you are supposed to train and equip your team by offering regular training, not once. You offer regular trainings in evangelism, in discipleship, and other ministry skills. Maybe in evangelism, maybe in discipleship, maybe in pastoring, maybe in teaching. Over those trainings so that the people can have the skills, can have the knowledge, and they can do the volunteer work, and they can do it with confidence, and they can do it competently well, so that the ministry can be a ministry on the move. It cannot be a ministry on the move while you are carrying all the burdens by yourself. You must train, and after training, you train what we call the training of the trainers or the tutor of tutors. You train them to become tutors of the others so they can do what is called the discipleship, the evangelism. They can do pastorally, they can do hospitality and everything that is needed in the ministry because you're giving them the right kind of training. The other aspect is you recognize and appreciate. In the matter of building a strong leadership and volunteer structure, you must recognize and appreciate. You recognize and appreciate volunteers. That is routinely thank and celebrate the efforts of volunteers, acknowledge their contributions publicly and privately to build morale and long-term commitment. Recommend them, celebrate their efforts, acknowledge publicly and also privately so that they can be able to build a morale for a long time commitment. Okay, where they have gone wrong, don't reprimand them badly, but reprimand them with love. Show them they can do better on that. By doing that, then you're building a team that is confident and that will be long committed and loyal to you in your ministry. Now, aspect number 4 is coordinating outreach efforts. This is how to build a strong ministry. This is how to build a strong ministry. And we are in number 4 now. And number 4 is coordinate outreach efforts. In coordinating outreach efforts, we are almost finishing because we're almost to number 5. I've prepared five subtopics, and now the fourth subtopic is coordinate outreach efforts. Outreach should be intentional and methodical to maximize impact. Okay, when you're going for an outreach, for example, for a crusade, it must be intentional. It must be methodical. You must know the methods to use, and it must maximize the impact. But one of that is conduct prayer focused outreach. Always start with prayer. Consider prayer walks in the community or setting up a prayer booth at local events. So you must make sure that the prayer is there. And then you let this prayer work in the community, or you set up a prayer booth or at local events. Let people pray for what you want to do for the outreach. Okay? For the outreach. Let people pray for that crusade. Let people pray for that conference. Let people pray for that training. Let people pray for that mission outside. Let them pray. Start with the prayer. Number 2, develop relationship-based evangelism. Okay, encourage ministry members to build authentic friendship with neighbors and co-workers. Train them to share their personal testimony and be ready for spiritual conversation. Number 1, the relationships must be built strongly. You encourage these members to build authentic friendships, real friendships with neighbors and co-workers. I'm sure you have ever seen people going for evangelism, going for an outreach, but there is a misunderstanding amongst themselves. They don't know what to do and what not to do. They might have prayed, but the method that is needed to attract the people who are being reached out, it's not there because there is a misunderstanding between the team that is going out. There is no friendship. There is no correlationship with these co-workers that they are working with. They don't like being put in the same team because they don't love each other. They don't relate well, then they must be trained even to share their personal testimony and be ready for spiritual conversations. Okay, they share their testimonies, they do spiritual conversations, they let the Holy Spirit work in them. The team that you are preparing for the outreach, the team that you are going together with them for the outreach, they must be friendly to each other. The relation should be strengthened. The other aspect is involve the wider community. Organize community service projects like food drives or neighborhood cleanups. These acts of kindness can build trust and open doors for sharing the gospel. This is now where hospitality comes in. The aspect of sharing, the aspect of working together with the community, the aspect of being involved in the community work, where communities come and work together with you. Okay, with this kind of aspect, then the community will open up their doors and their minds and their hearts, and they will relate with you. So when you go out for an outreach, then the community will like to be associated with you because you are involving the wider community in your ministry. Okay. Other aspect is host special outreach events. Let this outreach be special. How should they be special? Plan evangelistic events like movie nights, music concerts, special seminars on relevant topics. Always include a clear presentation of the gospel and a plan for follow-up. Okay, when you have those movies, when you have those music concerts, when you have those special seminars, dinners, and relevant topics that you're training, make sure they include clear presentation of the gospel and a plan for follow-up. If these people are going to follow what they have been trained, the presentations, where can they get them? How can they follow them? Because of the relationship that I've already created with them, they'll be able to follow up exactly what you have been training. And they must be topical, they must be important, they must be lively rated so that they can be able to expand the gospel in their relationships. The other aspect of point number 4, which we are continuing with, is utilize digital platforms. Use social media, websites, and newsletters to share the ministry's vision and promote events. Digital channels can extend your reach beyond your physical location. Use the social platforms. The social media are so much important. In your mirrorings of the training, in your training in the presentations, in your outreach programs, reach them out through the social medias also, because it is so much important. That was number 4, of which we had said you coordinate outreach efforts so that they can have a product and they can be effective. The other point, the last point that I have prepared to give for you is follow up and evaluate. After you've done the strategic, after you have done the spiritual foundations, after you've trained your people, after you've built the relationships with the community, the team, and the volunteers, you'll need to do a follow up and evaluation. Very important. A ministry's work does not end after an event or initial conversation. It doesn't end there. Okay. Point number 1 of subtopic number 5, follow up and evaluation. Create a clear follow up plan. Have a system for connecting newcomers and new believers with existing church members or small groups. Provide discipleship materials and mentoring to help them grow in their faith. Newcomers and new believers. A newcomer may not be a believer, but because he has come to the church, he must be connected and he must be discipled. He must be taken and informed of the ministry and how it is supposed to be done. The new believers also, they are supposed to be put in a class that is so friendly to them so that they can be discipled, they can be given materials, they can continue being mentored so that they can grow in faith. Point number 2 of topic number 5, evaluate and adapt. After an event or initiative, review what worked and what didn't. Gather feedback from participants and team members and use the insights to improve future efforts. Let people give feedback of the events, how the event was, how things worked, what did not work. Gather those information and insight. Let them give an insight on how it could have been done better and use that insight for the future efforts. Final point of topic number 5, build momentum. Use evaluation to celebrate wins and build on your successes. Sharing stories of transformation will energize the team and inspire others to participate. Sharing those stories of those who have been transformed. You celebrate the wins and build on your successes. When you share that each and every time, then the ministry will continue to grow. I hope this type of training has benefited you as a minister of the gospel. And for you who are trying to do a ministry that is going to be great, if you follow those steps and others that we are going to teach about, I'm sure that your work will be perfect. May God bless you and may you have a very blessed time. I'm your host, and today was your teacher, your tutor, Reverend Dr. Joseph Mary. God bless you. Have a nice time, and may your time be a blessed time. And God bless you mightily. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.